All right, we are live in Champion Select with game number 1 of the finals between Team AD Cuties and Team Bamboozle.
Yeah, I am banned from Dota, and my cohort in crime here is LP. Don't you dare ban my mid lane Gnar mage mid.
Don't tell them on stream. It's still secret.
And we start out with the ban from AD Cuties, the Yasuo ban, fearing the Yasuo ban. NyQuil and his squad respond with the Xayah ban. Not sure if Gold Chains actually played that. I didn't recognize that pick, but it might be a target ban. And they respond back with the Renekton. Illegal Jesus' Renekton is no longer able to be played. Have you seen any games with his Renekton? Does he go off on that?
Yeah, he definitely has popped off on that. He didn't. I don't believe he popped it out against the Vertebrae series, but he's brought it out before in the playoffs, and it was nasty. And
they fire back with the Kayn ban. I'm not sure that I agree with that ban, because Kenny, while he is a decent Kayn, he's much more proficient on the likes of the Rek'Sai.
The Sejuani.
The Sejuani as well,
yeah.
Unless they take the Rek'Sai here. But if they don't take Rek'Sai, I look for AD Cuties to take first pick Rek'Sai here. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't.
Bamboozle leaving open Tiny Tally's Garen, ready to face it with some prepared pick in the top lane.
Yeah, and that's another thing about AD Cuties. They're not afraid to first pick the Garen because Tiny Tally knows pretty much every matchup. It's almost undisputed at this point that he's going to play Garen, and if he plays anything other than Garen, it's a major shock to the viewers and the casters.
There it is, the first pick, Garen.
The Demacian Justice is going to be summoned this game, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to come down, and it's going to be a massively epic.
I wonder if they were going to play something standard like the Gnar into it, or maybe they have some kind of pick that just completely counters it ready.
Well, they respond back with an Ashe, and I'm not sure that that's a decent pick into Garen, especially because he can cleanse off the slow. The Rakan as well comes out. Again, oh my goodness,
insta-locking the Sejuani.
Insta-lock, and if Cavendish brings out this mid-lane Lucian, I mean, I guess it is a flex pick, but usually it is mid-lane. It's not so much strong in the bot lane anymore. It looks like AD Cuties are definitely getting the draft they want this game. I would have to assume that Bamboozle is bamboozling me as well, and they're getting the picks they want. Oh my goodness, the LeBlanc.
Ooh.
Please play it.
And it will be the Vladimir for Cavendish.
It's kind of unfortunate because LeBlanc is one of the stylistic mid laners, I would say, in the fact that she's so much fun to cast, she's so much fun to watch, and she just blows people up, not nearly like she used to.
Yeah, not quite as much, but Vladimir, on the other hand, kind of more slow in the early game, having to level up quite a few times before he's able to team fight efficiently.
They fight back with the Cho'Gath. Now that's a flex pick. Obviously, you can take it top or jungle. Not sure where it'll be taken. I would assume it would be top lane as a counter to the Garen, but maybe they're just trying to, play both of us. They throw out the Twitch ban. They're afraid of the Gold Chains' Twitch ban, and if that's the case, I would assume they would ban Kog'Maw here as well, if they're looking to pinch that hyper carry pool.
Yeah, that will leave the Tristana open, though, which might be what King Gold Chains is looking to, whichever's left up between the Tristana and the Kog'Maw.
I forgot about Tristana. That's right. He is a very strong Tristana player. I mean, King Gold Chains in general, like you can't obviously ban out all of the AD carry pool. He's gonna bring a lot of domination to the table. And I mean, I keep harping on how decent or how good King truly is, but I can't overemphasize how much of a backbone I truly believe that he is for the Cuties.
So rather than try and pinch his pool even further, they take out the Lulu from Han. Gonna be a targeted ban at him to try and keep King Gold Chains away from all those shields and buffs.
And I think that's a really strong pick. I mean, obviously we're playing on the patch that Ardent Sensor got nerfed, so champions like Janna are still strong. Janna and Nami are still strong, but they're not nearly as strong as they once were, and the response to that would be Lulu. So with Lulu being banned, obviously they can't play it. And I think that the Lulu ban was a good heads-up play. Oh,
the Mordekaiser are being hovered. And it will be the Gnar.
Okay. So what do you think that is? Gnar top?
Yeah, that's not going to be a Gnar mid because Where's the Fun hasn't quite gotten the memo yet about how that's the new meta. But that will be the Gnar top and Cho'Gath jungle.
and they're hovering the Tristana like you called out. She's saluting the crowd. She says, "You know what? I'm ready to go. Put me in, Chief. I'm ready to play. Coach, put me in." 5
There
seconds,
it
and
is.
it's locked. It is locked.
Against the
And
Rakan. Ooh.
They hover the Heimerdinger. I would pay good money. I'd pay good money to see Han's Heimerdinger. I have a feeling it'd come out and it would be extremely oppressive. Not sure that he's actually going to play it, though. I would bet my life on the fact that he's not going to play it, but...
Yeah, maybe you see a Nami here, or the Janna left open if they're trying to go for that Ardent. Oh, the Sona, okay.
Yeah, I guess he is a pretty... I'm not going to say a bad or a good Sona. He's a pretty proficient Sona in the fact that he's the only person that I've seen across this tournament actually play it. Most people, again, tending to play either the likes of Thresh, which is obviously banned, or Lulu, Nami, Rakan. Sona really isn't popular right now, and it's in Han's champion pool. It's a strong pick for heavy engage comps, which is what they've drafted so far, Mage.
The only concern I have is at level 6, how is Sona going to get away from the Ashe ult and the Rakan ult?
I suppose that yeah, that's true. They have a lot of pick between the what is it, the grand entrance with the quickness on top of that. They do have a lot of heavy burst with that. It looks like that Han is taking exhaust and Tristana is taking barrier. Not sure if
that's supposed to be a heal.
If he's gonna take heal or if they're gonna stick with that. I think that the only way to counter what you were talking about is if they do take heal and she lives long enough that she can get her ultimate off the crescendo on at the very least NyQuil. I mean, while it is hard to time it, it's kind of telegraphed that he's going to be going in the fact that he obviously has to run at you, and that gives you, with his recent nerf, about half a second to launch the crescendo, which could be game changing at that point.
Yeah, Tristana's burst with the getting 4 shots off on her bomb there would definitely be enough to turn that kind of engage.
Definitely. And another thing we're failing to take into account is the aspect of the junglers in the bot lane. I think with Sona, once these champions hit 6, bot lane is going to explode. Because both the supports bring a lot of CC for gank assistance, but I would favor the Sejuani over the Cho'Gath simply because Cho'Gath doesn't have a strong dive, in the fact that he doesn't have Sejuani's Q, in the fact that she can just get in there and start demolishing people. Cho'Gath has to wait to get in range to either silence or knock up. As far as top lane is concerned, who do you give the nod to?
Ooh, in this case, I have to give it to Illegal Jesus because Tiny Tally is very infamous for his Garen top, and there's no way they would let it through picks and bans unless they had practiced this Gnar pick into it.
I think you're probably right, and I mean across the board, Tiny Tally has been recognized as I don't want to say a Garen 1 trick, but
a Garen Darius 2 trick.
Yeah, a Garen. Yeah, he's really strong in these 1v1 fighters. It seems like for the most part, AD Cuties tends to ignore him, and it works for them because whether he's ahead or he's behind, he's just a relevant force no matter where he's at in the game. And so far, no specific team has targeted Tiny Tally as far as pinching his pool in the picks and bans. It seems like it's a pick that they take first and then they try to use it to see what the enemy team is drafting because they know they're going to play it and they play it proficiently.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that since it's a best of 5, Bamboozle has the option of in game 1 letting it through and then banning it later on if they need to.
Yeah, I would agree. And you use that first game because this is a BO5. You use that first game as a way to figure out, okay, so this is what's really strong in them. This is what's really strong in the meta of our BO5. This is what we need to ban. This is what we need to pick. I wouldn't be surprised if after this game we see a target ban on the Garen or even the Tristana. As far as Bamboozle is concerned, there's nothing on their lineup that I can see right now that would warrant a target ban, but that is not to say that Where's the Fun doesn't go off and completely dominates the enemy team on the Corki drawing the ban as well.
Yeah, and I think this Corki is going to have a better time roaming in the mid game than the Vladimir, so they're going to really have to watch out for the packages coming through the river into the bot lane.
That's something that I'm actually kind of concerned about are these packages and the fact that they have a lot of ways to get around that. I mean, they have the Vladimir pool to get through it. They have Tiny Tally can use his speed debuff to get through it. Sejuani can Q dash through it. The only real target for that is going to be Sona, because everybody else can pretty much get through it. So unless they're skirmishing in jungles, I don't see that package being as beneficial as what it could be. Now, I mean, having said that, Where's the Fun's gonna make me a liar is gonna totally just line up everything that he can and make that skill paid for in many more ways than one.
All right, well, you heard it here from Dota. We will see how he's able to play this quirky pick, and as we get into the loading screen, we'll see what summoner spells they all decided to take.
Let's see here.
So will be the barrier heal on the side of AD Cuties in the bot lane against the heal ignite of the bot lane for Bamboozle.
I like the heal ignite. I think that it gives them a lot of early game pressure, especially even in the level 6 burst like you were talking about. It brings a lot to the table, and the fact that they can 100 to 0 somebody because of the reduced healing from the heal. I think with Tristana having barrier, it's not as good as it could be, so they're going to have to focus Sona and burst her down first and hope that they have the CC necessary to kill Tristana. But I think the ignite bot lane is going to make for an exciting laning phase.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that the heal being on the Sona means that if Rakan is to put the ignite on her and then she tries to heal, it's going to be halved, obviously, and she won't have the barrier that Tristana has to protect herself.
Exactly. Real quick, before we actually get into game, I want to point out that we have an intense rivalry here between Cavendish and NyQuil. Cavendish sporting the TSM flare and NyQuil sporting the IMT flare. Both teams rep at NA, so I'll give you that. They're good, but nobody in this game representing Cloud9. Like Cloud9's my team to win. Like
they've gone undefeated in the play-in stages, but I mean, we haven't seen them against any real competition yet.
I think they'll come out on top after. I'm not on top of the whole thing. I think probably some random Korean team or some random Taiwanese team. Hashtag remember the dream of the Taipei Assassins gonna come up and we'll be fine.
Oh, the Taipei Assassins. That was a good. I actually saw a video on them today on how they took down so many teams in Worlds.
Yeah, they played from behind so well, and nobody saw it coming, especially against the Moscow 5. Like they were predicted to win the whole thing that year, and then they took down Moscow 5, and then they took
a Zubu Frost and Najin Sword and everyone. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you about 25 seconds?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
So we have Where's the Fun and Dayquil leading the charge towards the mid lane death bush, as we like to call it. Haven't been spotted out yet. Where's the Fun and Dayquil are leading. We have the invade. Kenny spots it out. Is he actually going to respond? He does, and it looks like we're not going to get anything out of it.
Just a couple of awards in the jungle of AD Cuties here.
Yeah, it gives them some vision, it gives them some knowledge about what they're doing, but it's not like with today's meta that there's any surprise there. Everybody pretty much knows that junglers are starting bot side, and they're working their way top, looking for a gank top lane around 4.5-5 minutes. It's not like that gave them any additional, or any information they probably couldn't have deduced themselves.
Yep. It looks like we have King Goldchains and Han Han waiting down here, maybe trying to get the jump if Dayquil and NyQuil walk through the river.
We have a lot of pings on Sejuani. They know that bot lane's in that tri-bush. Okay, now they see the rotation. But there's a lot of pings coming out from Bamboozle versus AD Cuties. Or AD Cuties, excuse me. We went over that last time.
Yeah,
AD Cuties, not AD Cuties. Red buff is going to be taken. Interesting, Cho'Gath actually starts the Raptors and makes me a liar. He's doing the Bamboozles, man. They're good at bamboozling you. You can't expect it. And I definitely wasn't looking for that, but Sejuani's starting her blue buff, and yeah, it looks like things are going to be relatively not standard this game. Illegal Jesus getting the boomerang throw on Garen. Garen says, no thanks, that doesn't hurt me, I'm fine.
Yeah, I think Tiny Tally for the first few levels is going to be just fine against the Gnar.
I think okay, Dayquil's going in, they hit the level 2. The Grand Entrance is flashed by Han. Gold Chains hits level 2, is starting to retaliate, but no real damage comes out. The Power Chord hits NyQuil, and Han is left worse for wear after that trade.
Yeah, Bamboozle's bot lane just going aggressive at level 2 there, like definitely looking to get the push so that, like we talked about at level 6, they can go in for the all-in.
Gold Chain's good run around, and the wave is pushing towards Gold Chains. Obviously, they don't want to fight right now. They're looking to just sustain off the damage that they took. With Rakan, he does have the Q sustain, but it's relatively difficult to land, and the heal isn't that strong to begin with. Whereas with Sona, she has that consistent 8-second heal that's constantly coming out. Plus, the shield it grants you too is good for trades.
Where's the fun returning some fire onto Cavendish there for getting the empowered Q on him?
And we're back bot lane. Okay, no real things have happened this game. Sejuani is picking up the Gromp right now. Cho'Gath looks like he might be heading bot for a gank. Does have the Scuttle Crab available to take, and right now he's built up a 5 minion lead because of the Raptors.
Yeah, that's something to keep in mind. In the jungle, CS can either be like very much more important than lane CS just because of how much more gold the monsters are worth and experience. So the 5 CS lead might be a pretty significant lead.
Yeah, and you can see right now, Sarah Cruz is level 4 to Kenny's level 3. And Sarah Cruz is, he looked like he was going for an invade. He gets the blast plant, or the scrying orb, and he looks like he's making a rotation towards bot. Gold Chain smells something in the water. Does NyQuil flash and Grant? No, the Grand Entrance is dodged. And Sarah Cruz is left limping into his jungle. We might have a meetup here between the junglers. Let's see here. Jungle is going in. Sejuani dives in. Sarah Cruz gets the knock up, silences her. Kenny is still going aggressive. NyQuil is looking to try and retaliate. The flash is out, and Gold Chains is completely ignored in this fight. Gets off so much damage. Kenny is left back, but it's not really going to bother him because he had to heal anyway. And the bot lane of Bamboozle is left limping away.
Both summoners used on NyQuil here. Oh, goes back in?
NyQuil goes back in. NyQuil is a monster on this champion. He shows no fear. Tiny Tally has a huge wave that he can collapse in if Gnar is willing to let him collapse. They get the heal off in the bot lane, but no real advantage is gained in any lane right now.
And despite the early pushing and trading from Bamboozle here, the bot lane of AD Cuties here is doing fine.
I think that they haven't really obviously been able to punish the flash on Han that they got level 2. I think that Sarah Cruz might have wanted to come bot a few more times than what he did to try and punish that and get an early first blood for this bot lane. Because as soon as, like we said in Champ Select, as soon as they hit 6, the lane's pretty much over for them. They can steamroll anything, and if they get the other team behind while they're obviously ahead, then that's you just can't. There's no counterplay.
Yeah, I would have liked to see NyQuil use his flash earlier to engage on Han when Sarah Cruz arrived. Try to get that ignite down, and Sona had no escape at that point.
I agree. But anyway, we're back to it. Looks like bot lane is pretty even in CS. Jungle has evened out. Top lane has amassed a 12 CS lead, and that equates to, let me see here, approximately 300 gold in favor of Tiny Tally against the Gnar, which most people would assume would counter Garen, but Tiny Tally just showing resilience on this Garen pick.
Yeah, that's pretty notable. The fact that Gnar with the range matchup has gone down in CS against the Garen. Definitely a matchup Tiny Tally is familiar with.
I think Tiny Tally is, oh my goodness, Gold Chains gets knocked up. NyQuil's trying to retaliate a little bit. Doesn't really get much. Han doesn't have the mana to actually sustain. It looks like they're just throwing blows back and forth to bait the other one into backing before them so they can push it into the tower.
Ooh, the back there by Tiny Tally is going to be stopped. Going to delay him a few more seconds.
Bot lane looks like NyQuil is looking to try and make something happen. Doesn't really have the tools to make it happen though right now, and the Sona flash is back up. Gold Chains gets knocked up, is getting slowed by the Ashe firing. Han goes down to or excuse me, not Han Han. Gold Chains drops to about 200 health and is left limping away. They're backing, so Bamboozle wins the first back war. They're able to push. They're going to be able to push this lane. And right now we have mid lane is level 6. Corky will have package in approximately a minute. So I look for Dragon to be fought over in the next minute or so.
Garen does have his ultimate available, bringing Illegal Jesus down to about half there and forcing him to recall.
It just seems like across the board, teams are just respecting each other. They're respecting the engage that the other team has to offer. They're trying to make plays, but they're not willing to commit 100% simply because they don't know where the enemy jungler is. It doesn't seem like there's been as many pings from Bamboozle as there was in the early game. They don't have as many deep wards, and so far Kenny really hasn't made any action in lanes. He has hit 6 though.
Yeah, so let's look for him to make a gank sometime in the next couple minutes when he comes out of base. He does have the ultimate available, but what lane should he be looking to? Probably the bot lane, because Ashe is the only mobile champion here to target.
I would agree. If I were Kenny right now, I'd go bot lane, try and camp the bush, and if it doesn't work out with your ultimate, then you still have the Raptors, or not the Raptors, excuse me, the Golems to retreat to. What he doesn't know is that Syracuse is still level 5. If he knew that he was level 5 and not level 6, I have a strong feeling that he would be playing a lot more aggressive. I would assume that with Kenny taking this blue buff, he's amassed almost a whole level lead over Syracuse.
You can see here Illegal Jesus just getting the bad end of every trade with Tiny Tally in the top lane.
Tiny Tally, man, on this Garen. NyQuil tries the grand entrance with the charm and
there it is.
Goes down. Han Han is ignited, but he gets out. He lives with the heal. Dayquil is standing. The kiting is insane. The Gold Chains tries to flashes out, and Dayquil is left with approximately 200 health, the same as Gold Chains. The advantage, however, is in Han Han and Gold Chains' favor in the fact that they can sustain.
Yeah, and that's the danger of this lane. You saw there they almost took down Han Han with the combination of their ultimates, but if they don't take them down, they're gonna get out-sustained.
Yes, and they have to burst them down. And at this point, I think that's when Sejuani is starting to rotate. That's when you're calling for the junglers. Hey man, we burned all of their summoners. NyQuil still has flash. Oh, we have a skirmish in the mid lane. The Hema Plague is dropped, but no real action takes place. They know that Cho'Gath is there, and Cavendish backs off.
Yeah, this is at that point in the game where Cavendish is hitting level 8 or level 9, where he's never going to have to recall. He can stay in lane as long as he wants.
Oh, the crescendo stomps, and down goes Dayquil. They don't have the vision of Kenny, or actually it looks like they do have the vision, they just lost where he was at.
Yep, and that's the gank we were talking about on the Ashe. Immobile used their flash in the last fight. The easiest target for Sejuani's ultimate.
And Han Han with the crescendo, I mean, it wasn't exactly necessary there, but just used for good measure, cements the fact that there was nothing that Dayquil could have done, and they're going to turn this into an early dragon.
Yeah, and Ocean Dragon is probably one of the most useful you can get in the early game. This is going to help all members across the board sustain through this early game.
Yeah, especially on this Garen pick, because if he gets poked down, he can just run into a bush and wait 3 seconds, and all of a sudden he's regaining almost 20 health a second.
Yeah, his passive in combination with the Ocean Drake just stacks and stacks.
Yeah. You're at this point, I don't think that Illegal Jesus is going to be able to push Tiny Tally out of lane. I think that Illegal Jesus needs to start trying to make plays elsewhere in this game, or he's going to fall so far behind.
Yeah, you can see his teleport is almost available. Definitely will be available for the next dragon fight, but that's definitely what you should look to do, is maybe try a lane gank through the bush in the bot lane.
Corky has picked up his package. They have a power play of approximately 40 more seconds or so, I think. Let me see here. He is staying mid. Never mind. We have another trade top lane. Tiny Tally is just running in, asserting dominance, especially, he has the Ocean Drake and his passive. He's not going to be hurting at all. And
you can see here that Illegal Jesus has opted to try and rush that Frozen Mallet. Going to do his best to stay in the top lane and kite the Garen, but it doesn't seem to be working so far.
NyQuil is trying to tell Syracuse, I would assume, that they're going to make a big play here. Han Han is silent.
Oh, arrow goes wide.
Goes wide, you were correct. Dayquil fires the volley. We have the Corky package. It goes so far wide. And King Gold Chains is probably saying, what was that in his team chat?
Yeah, plenty of ultimates and abilities used there. Nothing able to lock down King Gold Chains though.
They're trying to brute force this tower. I'm not sure if that's the best decision right now. It looks like, okay, Sarah Cruz took tower aggro, and they are potentially going to get this. NyQuil looking to make a play. Okay, she takes the crescendo, and NyQuil dies from the Tristana. Han is silenced, and he is dead. Gold Chain's fighting valiantly, kiting like a monster. He gets eaten though. The Corki comes up with the auto attack. The Sarah Cruz ultimate takes him down to the point where they could take it down.
It looks like they sent Tiny Tally to the mid lane to help push down that mid tower in response to the bot tower.
And that was a great adaptation from AD Cuties. They recognized the fact that Bamboozle are tunneling extremely hard on this bot tower, and they're going to get something out of it. So in the end, we have a tower for tower exchange. However, 2 kills go over in favor of Bamboozle, bringing us to an even game of 20.6 gold.
And even though the first tower gold is important on the side of Bamboozle there, I always prefer the mid lane tower down than a bot lane tower. It gives you so much map control.
Exactly, and it allows your mid lane, and in this case it's Vladimir, who is a monster if he gets ahead. It allows Vladimir to start roaming, and while he doesn't have any CC himself, he flourishes in lanes that have CC to assist him in going, especially this bot lane. Now with the bot lane tower taken, obviously that's going to be a little bit of a hindrance for Gold Chains and Han, but I look for this Vladimir to be spending a lot of time roaming at this point.
Yeah, at this point you can even switch him to the bot lane and bring the Tristana Sona to the mid lane if you want, and set up a 1-3-1.
And at the 14-minute mark, we have an evening out of CS across the board, with the exception of mid lane, Pen CS in favor of Vladimir. But other than that, Gnar has caught up in CS, so he has stopped the bleeding, and not only that, he has patched it effectively. We have a teleport top lane from Tiny Tally. It looks like they were trying to push over the tower. Illegal Jesus going 1v2 against the bot lane, and Cavendish is caught out here. He gets knocked up. He still has the pull, pulls the arrow, great pull, but he gets charmed up by NyQuil. He is flashing out. He exhausts NyQuil, and it looks like DayQuil flashes in. The Sejuani ultimate comes down, and Righteous Glory. The Demacian Justice claims. Actually, didn't go on cooldown. Kenny with the stun. Kenny with the stun comes out, so the Demacian Justice is still available. I don't know if Bamboozle knows that or not. It definitely faked me out, and if they don't know that, that could be a huge power play here as they're all rotating for the mid lane. Where's the fun? And Sarah Cruz are looking to get away. They get tagged with the Sejuani attack, and Cavendish is approximately 500 health. You might want to back, buddy, but that's okay. You know this game better than me.
Yeah, DayQuil there, just tunnel visioning on Cavendish's Vladimir there, using his flash and getting immediately bursted down by Kenny.
Yeah, it seemed like he thought that he maybe had a little bit more damage than he did. Unfortunately, he only had a BF sword at the time, so it wasn't enough to deal with Vladimir, especially with the passive from the Doran's shields blocking 6 damage or 5 damage from every auto. In early games, that means a lot.
And the best thing that you can say for Bamboozle right now is that 2 of the kills have gone onto Kenny on his Sejuani. So the carries of Vladimir Tristana aren't getting quite as much gold as, say, the Corki in the mid lane. So that's something that Bamboozle is definitely going to look to abuse.
I would agree. The only bad thing about that is the fact that the 2 kills from AD Cuties, or 2 of the 3 kills from AD Cuties have gone onto Sejuani, who becomes an absolute wall once she gets going. And at this point, she's been accelerated to the point where she is far enough ahead that her passive is going to be doing a lot of work in these team fights that she's going to be starting. They've drafted a comp that focuses around the Sejuani fighting and the rest of them kiting around. We have many forces converging on top lane. Tiny Tally back, so it doesn't look like anything else is going to happen. Sarah Cruz looking to get some dragon vision and priority around the dragon while Kenny is top lane. They do have vision of him, so they know he's there, and Sarah Cruz is looking to get the Scuttle Crab right now. He's starting dragon.
They have Illegal Jesus and NyQuil camping this brush, hoping someone will walk by. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is available.
we have it looks like they're trying to bait them into thinking that they're all top lane, while Sarah Cruz sneaks this dragon. Is actually ingenious because he gets the stacks from the ultimate, and he can destroy it pretty quickly because he does, what, 1,000 true damage to
yeah, I believe it's
minions?
1,000, maybe a little bit
So
lower,
yeah,
level 1.
they haven't actually checked it yet. They don't. And now they know that it's gone. So that is
that's a mountain drake. Yeah,
an earth drake in favor, or a mountain drake. You were correct. In favor of Team Bamboozled, which will help them take the neutral objectives that Cho'Gath is so strong at securing.
Yeah, even with tower pushing, when you have the Corki here, when he already completed this Triforce, so fast at taking towers with those Sheen procs.
I think that right now we've hit a lull in the action that'll probably persist for about 3 or 5 minutes while these teams try to figure out what their win conditions are. I think that both teams know that they need to obviously engage on the other one. I think that AD Cuties have drafted a hard engage comp, while Bamboozled has drafted a more reactionary comp. And until they get the items on this Sejuani to the point where she is able to be that front line that they need, there's not going to be too much going on here. Sejuani is looking to make a play top lane, but Dayquil and NyQuil playing very safe.
Yeah, they recognize that Sona has the Ardent Center, and they're not going to be able to trade at all.
Interesting. Sona's still going Ardent Sensor first item before they get the Sightstone. So at this point, okay, Sarah Cruz is a little bit caught out here maybe. Doesn't actually take that much damage. Cavendish uses the Proto Belt to go in to get a quick Q on Where's the Fun. Where's the Fun, I feel like, isn't doing too much with his lead right now.
Yeah,
the ultimate from Kenny comes out, and Crescendo stuns them up. Dayquil is getting destroyed right now. NyQuil flashes out. He gets the flash from King Goldchains, and Goldchains, well, just like that, comes out with a double kill.
Yeah, this King Goldchains here is going to start to take over the game with this amount of gold he's picking up.
At this point, it's like we talked about in Champ Select. You said that Tristana was open and he was likely going to be taking it, and both of us said that King Goldchains was the backbone of this team, and he's definitely portraying that right now. He's 3-1-1. He's got that Infinity Edge. He's looking to go off this game. Yeah, looks like they're rotating for the Herald.
Cavendish here kiting out some of Sarah Cruz's abilities. Should be able to make it out just fine.
And with actually, they might not be able to finish the Herald in time. They have 20 seconds to actually 15 seconds to finish it. Hopefully they can finish it. Tiny Tally going rounds with Illegal Jesus. The Herald is looking to go down. It's almost there. Sarah Cruz gets the knock up, but the smite fails, but that's okay because Goldchains gets the auto. And they get it before? Yes, they do. So Han gets it before it's destroyed by the Baron Nashor. And Tiny Tally all this while has been actually falling in CS to Gnar.
Yeah, he's been spending a lot more time running between the lanes rather than Gnar just consistently pushing this bot lane for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, it seems like Tiny Tally is left to keep the scraps together while the rest of the team is taking objectives such as, top tower and the Herald there. He's just been left to, like I said, straggler duty. You gotta go bot, you gotta go mid. And he's losing out on CS to this Gnar, who, like you said, has been left to stay bot, who has actually amassed a level lead.
And the interesting thing about the team composition from AD Cuties is they always draft this Garen into their comp and make it fit somehow.
I don't understand what is going on with the Garen, because I feel like they could play so many more things top lane. It must just be okay, we have Illegal Jesus is looking to get the flank but doesn't have the Gnar bar ready, and Dayquil does have the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, doesn't look to fire it. But yeah, I don't know why they don't try to play more things in the top lane, especially because this is a BO5.
Yeah, I guess you try it out game one, see if you can draw a ban for the next games, then maybe try something else in the top lane once you've gotten that ban out.
Yeah, but I think if I'm Bamboozle and this is game one, I would have tried to ban out his Garen and his Darius to see what else he brings out. Because so far in this tournament, I haven't seen anything. It's not to say that he hasn't played anything else, but I haven't seen him play anything other than those two champions. And I would be interested to see who he brings out as his response to those two bans.
Yeah, I agree, because they're always going to take the Garen or the Darius in the first part of the draft if you leave it open, and you're not going to be able to get to the second round to ban them out. You have to use those bans.
So far, we have a 5-2 kill lead And right now, a lot of that gold is amassed on the Tristana, being almost 1,200 gold above her lane opponent in Ashe. However, Corki being 2 kills ahead, almost 1,000 gold ahead of Vladimir, hasn't really done much to counter that lane opponent.
Yeah, he has 2 completed items. He would do a massive amount of damage in teamfights if they could just get a full 5v5 going.
Yeah, it seems like he doesn't know the true limits of that champion. Maybe he's not comfortable on it 100%, or he doesn't know truly how much damage his abilities are going to be doing. But as soon as he gets that Trinity Force, he hits like a truck. I don't know why he wasn't trying to trade harder, but such is life. These 2 teams are in the finals. I'm not. Maybe they know something I don't.
Yeah, they got some secret up there. He does have the Executioner's Calling as well, going to be able to stunt Vladimir's heals.
Dayquil looking to tickle Tiny Tally, and Tiny Tally laughs as he runs away. What? How brutal is his Garen? Nobody else in this league plays Garen. I shouldn't say nobody else, but...
You don't see it often. It's definitely a unique pick.
No, and they bring it out every single game.
They're so confident putting that Garen in the top lane. You can see he held even in lane. He might be down a few CS now, but still running around the map, pulling out pressure.
They respond by getting this dragon. It looks like Sarah Cruz is rotating down to get the dragon. Where's the Fun does have package, so if I am AD Cuties, I'm giving up this dragon. Let me see what kind of dragon it is. It is another Earth Drake. I think that Where's the Fun needs to start this now. Forget that, excuse me, that...
Scuttle Crab.
Scuttle Crab, thank you. My brain was farting so hard. They need to force this fight on dragon, excuse me.
Yeah, and they need to do it before the package runs out.
Gnar is about. Oh, the package goes down. Gnar is about to Gnar out. He gets the ultimate off on gold chains, and oh my goodness, the Gnar against the wall on Tiny Tally. Tiny Tally is taking so much abuse.
Oh, Cavendish on the back line.
Cavendish is Where's the Fun is left to sprint away. Where Cavendish is just punishing so much, and Gold Chains out of nowhere, who they initiated on. Gold Chains was initiated on, and they peel so hard for him. Clean 5-for-0 ace, and I casted that so poorly.
And Han summoned the Rift Herald in the base, and it finally made it to that top lane tower. About to charge down that one.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, so they're getting Baron, they're gonna get top tower here. This is AD Cuties running away with this game. Bamboozle, I don't know what their win condition is at this point.
And the 3K Gold League doesn't tell the full story of just how far ahead this Tristana is. King Goldton going to be able to take down anyone on the side of Bamboozle.
Another important thing to note is the fact of what these team comps are trying to do. Like I said earlier, Kenny is looking to hard engage with the glacial prison, while Cavendish just uses his his proto belt to get into the back line and wreck stuff while Gold Chains is going off. And the other team, Team Bamboozle, has drafted a reactionary comp, and it's really hard to react to a comp that is in your face and you don't have the tools to deal with it. It seems like AD Cuties have officially hit the point where their stranglehold over this game has been cemented, and yes, Bamboozled is left limping away.
Yeah, you can see here the tankiness of Cavendish just coming out in these team fights.
Nyquil gets caught out. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands on King Chains. Dayquil is fighting Cavendish. Sarah Cruz is caught out here as well. The Crescendo comes down, catches out Where's the Fun. Illegal Jesus, not long for this world. Tristana hops in, is landing crit after crit. They are decimating his health bar. Sona with the scumbag support double kill.
And you can see here, King Goldchain's just unstoppable at this point. The resets, no one's ever going to be able to lock him down. And Channel Crystal Arrow hits, it doesn't matter. No one can lock him down at this point.
At this point, I think that there's really nothing they can do. This is another clean ace in favor of AD Cuties. The kill score is 15-2. The gold lead has ballooned to almost 10k. And Cavendish is pushing up the mid lane. Tiny Tally tanking the tower for his team like a champion. And the Demacia Justice has not been summoned this game as much as I would like. That saddens me deeply, Mage. That saddens me.
Yeah, and I don't think the Garen has had much of an impact compared to what another top laner could have, had they picked something else. But it's definitely been holding up in team fights and at least dealing some damage.
And at this point, I don't think that they needed to do anything. The rest of the team has definitely picked up the slack at the top lane. Not that he's doing badly.
Yeah.
He's not doing bad, but he's not doing well either. He's just simply present, left to pick up the scraps while his team is making plays around the map, which, in all honesty, is a very honorable way to play. It's a way that some teams prefer to make their top laners or their junglers. You know, you're the straggler, the rest of us make plays, and you just do the best with what you can. And Tiny Tally has proven over and over again that he is resilient on this Garen, that he can deal with a lot with just a little.
And taking a look at the gold here, you can see that King Goldchains has a 3,000 lead over Dayquil's Ashe. Just that's a completed item amount of gold ahead of the Ashe.
And Vladimir, with the tower pressure, has caught up in gold to his opponent Corki. This Sejuani from Kenny didn't really do much in the early game, but as soon as he got that first gank bot lane with the crescendo, he has gone off. Is now 2,500 gold ahead of Sarah Cruz, who, let me see here, I want to see how many stacks he is sitting on. He has 7 feast stacks, which could, okay, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes out, and Gold Chains bites off a lot more than he can chew.
Yeah, King Goldchains there, disrespecting Dayquil, thinking he has the 1v1, but NyQuil and Sarah Cruz waiting in the wings.
Oh, okay, he gets knocked up by the Rupture. Cavendish is using the Hemoplague. Sarah Cruz is biting him down. NyQuil gets the knock up. He's silenced, and they get the 2-man Rupture. Tiny Tally getting caught out here, as well as the Demacian Justice comes down, and oh my goodness, Cavendish just blows people up with that E. The Gnar against 2, but there's no damage to follow up. Where's the fun, though? Where's the fun coming up big? The Cavendish is ignited, and excuse me, not ignited, the Grievous Wounds, and Gnar is no longer for this world.
That was a 4v5 in favor of Bamboozle, and they got aced.
And they don't even lose a member. They don't lose a member.
And that's just how far ahead the rest of the team was from all these kills and team fights.
Exactly, and with the Nexus falling here, we're left 1-0 in favor of Team AD Cuties. I'm going to reset. You go ahead and do what you're going to do. I will be back.
Alright. We'll go ahead and take a look at the damage charts real quick, and then we'll hand it over to the analyst desk to break down that game for us. Yeah, you can see here Cavendish and King Goldchains just doing a massive amount of damage that game. Where's the fun on Corki doing a decent amount himself, but just unable to match those two in their combined damage in these team fights.